Between Tuesday and Wednesday this week, we saw from the Champions League exactly why the game of football is the favorite sport. From the twists and the turns to the expected and the unexpected outcomes, we would always love the game of football. Welcome back to the multimedia channel, guys. I hope that you're having a great day. As usual, I want to say a very big thank you to those of you who are already subscribed. It really means a lot to me. But if you're yet to subscribe, I want to say please and please do subscribe to stay up to date with the content that I share on the channel. All right, so today there are quite a number of updates we're going to be looking at, especially as it concerns the search for a new coach for the Super Eagles, and then of course the players themselves. But then before we get right into that, I would want to talk about the Champions League and the outcome. I mean, clearly we're already into the semi-finals of the competition with the likes of Dortmund, with the likes of PSG, with the likes of Barcelona, with the likes of Bayern Munich, and of course with the likes of Real Madrid, making it to the top four. Yeah, so these clubs will play on the 30th of April, and then of course the 7th of May. That's the first and the second leg matches of the semi-finals. Yeah, but then for some of us who were really rooting for Arsenal to get to the finals, it was a sad one. It was really a sad one because, to be honest, I was hoping that Arsenal would get to the finals of the competition. But then if you watched the match between Arsenal and Bayern Munich, even though they tried very well, you can actually tell that one thing that was lacking is experience. So Bayern played like a team that has won the Champions League. They played like a team that has that experience. But then for Arsenal, even though they performed well, they were really lacking some sort of experience, and then of course we saw it in the match. But I really wish them well. Of course, having got to the quarterfinals, it means a lot, and I hope that next season they would come back really better and stronger. Yeah, of course, one game that was particularly surprising for me, I mean, the outcome was the Dortmund and Atletico Madrid game. I mean, we recall how the first leg of that quarterfinals ended in 2-1, of course, in favor of Atletico Madrid. So personally, I expected that in the second leg they would really worsen the situation for Dortmund. But then we saw a different game in the second leg, and of course, it ended 5-4 in favor of Dortmund. And of course, they are now into the semi-finals. Another really strong match that we saw in the quarterfinals was, of course, the Real Madrid versus Man City game. Yeah, so I believe that quite a number of people really hoped that Real Madrid would win because, of course, Man City won the last Champions League. So it would appear as though other clubs are not serious if they go on to win the Champions League again for a second time in a row. Yeah, so I think we had more people who really wanted Real Madrid to actually beat Man City. Of course, he ended 4-3 on penalty, but it was one of the strongest games as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, so we're really looking forward to a tougher encounters moving forward. I mean, in the semi-finals, of course, like I said, you now have Real Madrid, you now have PSG, you now have Bayern, and of course, you now have Dortmund. So they've been paired, Dortmund to play PSG, and of course, Bayern to play Real Madrid. And personally, I see a Champions League final between Bayern and PSG. I don't know what you think, but these are like my personal opinions because I see Bayern really beating Real Madrid in the semi-finals, and of course I see PSG beating Dortmund in the semi-finals as well. And I think it's going to be particularly important for someone like Mbappe, who of course is hoping to join Real Madrid at the end of the season. Yeah, so it would really mean a lot to him if he ends up winning the Champions League with PSG, because of course they really struggled over the years to really win the Champions League. I mean, they had some of the greatest players when they had Neymar, when they had Messi. It didn't really work. Hopefully this time it will work for them, but of course you can expect a very strong challenge from a Bayern Munich side that is highly experienced with the likes of Harry Kane and the rest of them. Yeah, so like I said, we're looking forward to really exciting semi-final, yeah, on the 30th of April, and then of course on the 7th of May. Yeah, so now back to what we have for today as it concerns the Super Eagles. I mean, like I said, it's really been so much about the search for a new coach for the team, and as a matter of fact, former players of the Super Eagles have continued to express their dissatisfaction with the delay by the NFF in really appointing a new coach. Yeah, so they feel like it's really going to um, disrupt a whole lot of things if a decision is not taken quickly. And among those who has really expressed displeasure with the delay is Sam Soje. Sam Soje was a former player of the Super Eagles, of course. He actually played for Watford as a defender. So he has said that, that the NFF is not really doing well by really not taking a very quick decision as to who becomes the coach of the Super Eagles. And of course, there are reports that the NFF are expected to meet today to take that decision. Yeah, so we're really waiting. Reports had it that they were supposed to meet on Tuesday, and then for some reasons, I don't know, they couldn't meet again. Yeah, so hopefully they would meet today and then finally take a decision. And it's one that the players cannot really wait for, because it will really help them to concentrate moving forward, especially looking at the World Cup qualifier matches that they have. Yeah, so moving forward, a top official of the NFF actually, who of course doesn't want his name mentioned, said that part of the reasons why there have been delays in the appointment is because the NFF are trying to manage the many interests that have overtaken the decision, and also ensure that they do not make mistakes which might cost them their jobs. Yeah, so everybody's being careful. Nobody wants to lose their job. And like I've always said, in situations like this, we often see politics come into play. And like I've always also warned, they must be careful not to really let politics disrupt the process and then make them decide or settle for someone who doesn't really have the right qualities for the job. Yeah, so I do wish that they would take that seriously as a matter of concern. Yeah, so moving forward, of course, many people have also been of the opinion that a foreign coach would do better. There have been this controversy, these questions around whether the NFF wants to settle for a local coach or they want to go for a foreign coach. But then we've had some people come out to say that a foreign coach would do a better job, and that appointing a local coach might really cost the Super Eagles because the players might not really respect the individual. And the person who is saying this is the former Super Eagles defender George Abe. Now he has said that he does not see a local coach who can handle the big egos of the Super Eagles stars. And obviously these guys are playing in top clubs across Europe. So I see the sense in what he is saying. But the fact remains that the NFF must be careful to appoint an individual who has got the right qualities, who has got the right experience, and who has got that management skills, because it's very important. Yeah, so you don't have players always entering into discords with the coach. And we know how negatively impactful that can really be if the coach and the players are not really in good terms. It really affects their psyche and how they perform. Yeah, so moving forward, um available reports have it that the NFF has drafted the final shortlist of those among which a coach will be selected. Now, formerly it was 7, now it has further been trimmed down to 5. Some reports are saying 4, but then those we have on that list, according to available reports, are of course Emmanuel Amoneke, Michael Insien, who coaches the USA under 20 team, and then of course Danny Bugis from Netherlands. We'll have Dominic Torrent from Spain, and then Tony Conceição from Portugal. Yeah, so these are the men who have made the final list, the 5-man list of the NFF. Yeah, so expect a coach of the Super Eagles from these 5 names I have mentioned. Yeah, so moving forward, 2013 AFCON winner FA Ambrose said that while Osimhen and Boniface are excellent forwards, that while they will make a very excellent combination, playing the 2 strikers together in the Super Eagles would be a tactical drawback for the team. He said that they might be running into each other. While I see a bit of a sense in what he is saying, I mean, personally, I feel like it will completely depend on the kind of squad or the kind of lineup that whoever is going to emerge as coach would want to play. I mean, and usually what we see is whenever a team is winning, we see them, of course, bringing in more midfielders and more defenders to sort of remain in the lead. But when a team is losing, what we see is them bringing in forwards because of course they need to score. Yeah, so like I said, it will really depend on the situation and of course the coach. Yeah, so while I see a sense in what he is saying, because of course they might just clash, it is still possible to play the two of them in the same game, provided of course the intention is to really score and win matches. Yeah, so moving forward, Queen's Park Rangers has actually indicated interest in bringing in Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali. I mean, Nwabali has been impressive. Yeah, so apart from um, what we saw in the AFCON tournament where he was really, really impressive, he has been impressive for his South African side, Chippa United. I mean, I think the last match they played, he kept out a penalty that part of which took his club to the semi-finals of a certain tournament in the country. Yeah, so the young man has been impressive, and like I said, um, it's only a matter of time before he begins to attract interest, and we're already seeing it. Queens Park Rangers has indicated interest, and just to say I think his contract is expiring by the end of this season, and it doesn't appear as though he intends to renew his contract. So that means he's open for whatever club that would be interested in his services. Yeah, so moving forward, Manu Garba, of course, Manu Garba, who was appointed head coach of the Golden Eaglets on the 17 Nigerian national team, has actually confirmed that he has invited a total of 51 players in preparation for the 2024 West Africa Football Union B under 17 tournament, which would begin in less than a month, of course, in Ghana. We expect that the list will further be trimmed down because, of course, you don't expect him to go with a total of 51 players to that tournament. I mean, where they want to stay. So we expect maybe 27 or at most 30 to be taken to that tournament. And of course, now he said that he personally scouted the players, of course, in addition to the ones that were brought by stakeholders. You know, the normal politics that goes with people who make it to some of these squads. Most of the times it's not easy, and sometimes it's really a question of how much you have and who you know, and not so much about the talent, your talent as an individual. I mean, this is something we really need to begin to talk about because I'm aware that across grassroots, you have individuals, you have kids who really know how to play football, but because they do not have the right connection, nobody knows about them. Yeah, so moving forward, Super Eagles captain William Troost Ekong has reportedly donated his future camp allowances and match bonuses to Akwa Ibom kids as part of his contribution towards helping them achieving their dreams of playing football. I mean, Troost Ekong is so apart from his performance in the pitch, off the pitch, he's an individual who is so loved. I mean, recall how the state government actually celebrated him for winning the best player of the AFCON tournament, and of course, yeah, so he's such a great guy. Now he has said that he will be giving his match bonuses and allowances to kids in the state to help them improve and to pursue their dreams of playing football. Yeah, so as usual, I would want you to share your comments on the comment section. Arsenal is out of the Champions League. What are your thoughts on how they performed? Of course, before they were defeated by Bayern Munich, and then who do you see really becoming the coach of the Super Eagles? Looking at the 5-man list that the NFF has finally released, of course, trimming it down from 7 to 5. Share your thoughts on the fact that there are some people who think that pairing Victor Boniface and Victor Osimhen would be some sort of mistake for the Super Eagles. So you can just drop your comments on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.